Hello, this is Craig Mertens, Director of Product Education for Inktavo, the parent company of Inksoft, Printavo, Graphics Flow, and Sign Tracker. Welcome today, Christina Marcantelli from S&S Activewear. This is the inaugural joint venture of TrendWatch and co-sponsored by S&S Activewear and Inktavo. So welcome, Christina.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be here.
Our goal here is to bring you guys up to speed on new product and apparel trends, as well as sales trends, because that's an area that's very close to my heart. It's one thing to have great products and great graphics, but it's another thing to get them into the hands of your customers. And we're going to give you some very useful tools on how to implement these great new products you're going to see here today into a sales campaign, including e-commerce and proposals and things of that nature. So with that being said, I'm going to turn off my webcam. Christina, you can turn off your webcam, and then we'll just go through the initial presentation. So over to you, Christina.
I'm pretty excited about this opportunity. I think it's going to be a great opportunity for both of our partnerships. I'm learning a little bit more about each other and how we both can help build our businesses. I work closely with sales. It's basically sales, marketing, and merchandising. I overlap between those three departments with helping with brand awareness through training and management of our internal sales enablement platform and other go-to-market initiatives. So webinars such as this, trade shows, etc. So it's an exciting opportunity for us, and we'll get started. Some of our biggest brands that we carry, we have some marquee brands, which would be our Adidas. And we're super excited about this year. We have lots of new silhouettes and new products that are coming in. But the biggest opportunity with Adidas right now is that they've been working so hard for their 2024 to hit their goal of utilizing just recycled polyester instead of using any plastic and having any virgin polyester in any of their products. They're relaunching and their accessories that we had previously. This is the new relaunch of a lot of those styles and silhouettes. So you'll see that there's a bag, a visor, some new headwear. Really exciting time for them to showcase this initiative. As you can see, these are one of the top brands as far as retail and the go-to-market opportunities that they present for us. With this new brand rebranding and launch, they also came out with their new Adidas logo. So any of you that were looking at possibly seeing what I was wearing, I have the new logo that they have. So they kind of get a rebrand and a refresh. So this is a cleaner look. It's great for co-branding opportunities that we were speaking about. It allows the client's artwork to be the center of attention. So that just the removal of the Adidas lettering that's on there. As you well know, if any of you are familiar with our brands, we do have quite a few products with Adidas. We started out with mostly Adidas Golf, and we've kind of over the years shown great partnership with Adidas that now we've implemented some newer silhouettes and newer options. A lot of retail inspired opportunities here. So you could see anything from our premium tees to matching fleece sets, very fashion forward styles and performance options. These are some of the styles that we've had. You'll see puffers, they're Adidas windbreakers. We've got quarter zips, and polos have been some of our largest opportunities. Adidas for us has always continued to support corporate, school, and team markets. It provides premium branding opportunities for company stores. It's great for employee welcome kits. It's amazing for premium award and safety programs. So this refresh will continue to expand that lifestyle opportunity and branding options. This is part of the new 2024 ads that we brought in. This was the fall launch. The quarter zip that I'm wearing is part of the spacer companion pieces. So the 588 and the 589. So what's great is you'll see a lot of texture. We're seeing a lot of texture in silhouettes. The quiet luxury is really taking a play on that. What's great is this textural is giving a different opportunity to showcase products and kind of an elevated retail feel. Especially the 586, that's a poly viscose blend. It's a crew neck, and you'll notice that the new logo is now on the front chest. So it's kind of exciting to see these different silhouettes and things that are a little bit different than we normally have. And it's got a really great texture to it. These silhouettes as well have been coming in. It's a button down. We have the ladies we were talking about, polos for the women. So this is a great style ad. This will be great for pickleball, tennis. We also have the golf shorts and the long-awaited ladies leggings. I know a lot of us are excited about. A lot of these styles you'll see coinciding with their retail product line as well. With that relaunch, we talked about their accessories. So these styles, these are also going to be retail inspired ones. So you have the perforated, you've got the rope hat, and you also have the ponytail cap. So you'll see this. These are options that you're seeing everywhere, from pickleball courts to the office. It's just, they're very popular styles. And now we've got a few of those as well. Adidas pops of color. There's trendy pops of color that are happening kind of all over. We're seeing lots of inspiration with that. They're neutral, but yet retail inspired. These are great colors. The pre-love fig is that first style, just very neutral, light, and they're great for all genders. These are elevated active styles. They're versatile for every day, but they also are functional because they have the latest technology of their Aero Ready, which is for moisture management, and they're heat ready to keep you cool. And another exciting part to the new addition for this upcoming year is the children's pieces. So we have a polo and we have the quarter zip. I don't know any of you that are golf enthusiasts. One of our sales managers happened to be watching the 2024 Waste Management Phoenix Open a couple weeks ago. And Nick Taylor, who was the winner, he was wearing the A2004 textured polo in the pre-love fig. But it was pretty cool for us to see these products also being featured on the green. Heavyweight fabrics. We're seeing this streetwear trend driving demand in tees and fleece. The loose fit, oversized, urban heavyweight vibe has been trending for years. It's in hip hop, it's market, it's been concert merch. We've also seen in retail across many categories and genres. Many brands are now working to create that, especially in our industry, in the wholesale industry. So what's been trending in this category for years, utility-focused workwear brands such as Dickies, Wrangler, Carhartt. These are all known for those durable, fashionable pieces, but a lot of artists, musicians, influencers, and urban streetwear have been wearing it because they like the utilitarian look of it, but they also like the heavyweight and the vibe. So it's huge in the urban streetwear and skate communities. And we're seeing across the runways too, the whole utilitarian looks that are now coming back pretty heavily this year. So the need for more options. You have someone like Bayside that decided to create a revamp of a couple of their styles. So this is an oversized heavyweight. American Apparel, they've been doing a whole restructuring and revamp of their line. This 1301 and the 1301 garment dyed. These are great options because they're giving you kind of that spin. It's that worn in pigment dye that gives you kind of that vintage look. And they have the coordinating women's piece that's in a muscle t-shirt as well. Draw cords. Not only are we seeing heavyweight in t-shirts, we're also seeing it in fleece across the board. So year-round fleece has been kind of happening all year. This is something that's been new. We're seeing it trending pretty much in all markets, coast to coast. But brands that lead the market in both retail, private label, and wholesale, such as independent, created some styles in the streetwear market trend. It's the Main Street. It's a 12.5 ounce. So it's pretty heavyweight. It's that latest addition to their premium hoodie offering. It's quite a head turner. I mean, it's got all the bells and whistles. It's durable, dry hand feel. It's got an oversized fit. It's got drop shoulders and a relaxed modern appearance. But what you'll notice is the absence of the draw cord. So very retail and on trend. So the lack of draw cords, what we're noticing is it's great. It gives it a cleaner look, but it also allows for that front chest decoration to really shine through. So there's no distraction. We were talking kind of like when we're at trade shows and you're wearing those badges, the distraction of having that on. Draw cords possibly could have been doing that as well. And this is just giving more of an elevated look and making it less cumbersome. If you're looking for that oversized, clean streetwear look, to pair with this, they came out with the Avenue as well. So it's the same but different. So you're still getting the blind stitch construction, the boxy fit, the drop shoulder, but this is less weight. So you have the Main Street, that's a 12.5. This is an 8.5 ounce. The PRM 2600, this is for the ladies. So kind of an exciting cut, no draw cords, the larger cuff and hem line, and it's more of I would say a relaxed, modest crop. So it's kind of an exciting new silhouette for us. To continue that trend, we talked about American Apparel and how they've been having kind of this revamp to their whole line and looking into different markets. This is their RF, so it's the Reflex fleece. So this is 100% combed ring spun cotton, so super, super soft, and it's recycled poly blends. So these are going to fill that sustainable story as well. And it's got comparable quality at value pricing. It's a spin on the old classic. It's a practical staple piece, such as on the back of the crew neck, there's actual back, like a back neck patch where that's great for decoration opportunity. The relaxed, draw cord free, rolled back, drop shoulder seam of the hoodie is also pretty exciting. It's giving you that urban streetwear yet collegiate vibe. Hoping to tap into those emerging market trends. So all of these retail-inspired styles and brands that we spoke about with the updated benefits and features can play alongside company and spiritwear stores, giving a lifestyle appeal to any featured assortment and promo goods. So this would pair well with any of those corporate stores that you would have. With this, you see a lot of it. The baby ripped collection tee from Bell & Canvas, the crops worn with oversized joggers. You see that coast to coast. I know dropping off my kids, I see at the schools, at all their sporting events, that's the look that you're seeing. Paired with oversized hoodies and zip fleece as well. Balloon sleeves. So this is an American Apparel style. So you have that fun silhouette with the modest crop that's got a higher hem, but also the drop shoulder and the balloon sleeve. And Boxercraft decided to create one in their best-selling Cuddle Fleece collection. More quarter zips, half zips, all with unique styling. These are quarter zips and fleece. So this, you'll see like a circle toggle. A lot of these are in retail. Even walking in Target, you'll see these styles. It's great. J. Crew, a lot of these styles have been that athleisure where you can day to night look, and you could dress it up with jeans or wear it with your most comfortable joggers. The lace up fleece, this corduroy silhouette. These are some newer styles that are really taking advantage of this new trend. And with that, you also have the larger unique detailing as well. So the larger cuff, the larger waistbands, kind of a modest boxy fit. You'll see the bottom here of that LAT. You got the drawstring. So just some unique detailing. Crops are going to continue to trend, of course. We see that elevated into the fleece crops, but this one you can see these are great for all ages, all different sizes. I mean, there's so many different opportunities out there as far as the sizing, and it's not just for the youth. You could see this across all different age groups and all different markets. The bottom hem of the MV Sport, it's that raw edge that will continue to kind of trend as well, and then notched out applique at the top there. So some really unique detailing. And then, of course, our modest, relaxed t-shirt crops that are out there. So all these styles can be multi-purpose. They're great for day, various lifestyle brands, spiritwear, activities, gym and fitness studios. One of the last trends that I wanted to talk about is the new muted tie-dye colorways. So tie-dye has been huge for several years, right? It's not going away. It's across the board. It's in so many different brands. But this is more of a vintage styling. It's becoming more popular. You'll see it in entertainment. You'll see it in hospitality and travel markets. Vendors are adding more muted tones and patterns to their offering. So many brands, like we spoke about, independent, alternative, Bell & Canvas, they all have some tie-dye. But the brand that's been built on this unique hand-dyed creations for years was Dyenomite. They're offering a new spin on their old classics. So these premium fleece sweatshirts, joggers, and tees, they're all in these new 3 captivating collections. You have the mineral wash, the latest tonal techniques of the crush, which is all of these styles here, as well as the eroded feeling of the bleach wash. So all of these are very unique and becoming more and more popular. They also added some of their top-selling crystals and cyclones in more muted, tonal, earth-friendly colors that are just giving a new spin to the whole tie-dye market. So along with that vintage look, others are doing these new washes and dye protections. They're more of a sustainable manufacturing processes. You're seeing that become more of a concept that that most of these companies are starting to really jump in on. That vintage worn-in look leads that demand for these specialty washes. So you'll see Next Level came out with the 3600. It's a soft wash. LAT, same thing. But the unique ones at the bottom were the alternative and ComfortWash. And what those are botanical washes. So they select fruit, flowers, and leaves to actually dye the fabric. So I think you'll start to see that kind of trending across the board, using more economic and more eco-friendly uses of production. Pretty much all I have as far as some of the newest trends. I know Craig, you wanted to jump in and add the stores that you can show.
Fantastic job. It seems like a blast from the past, especially looking at all of the crops that are coming in back in my era. And the guys used to wear them. We had the proverbial shimmel shirt. You're going to have to Google that. Yeah. Half shirt you wore under your football jerseys, and then all of a sudden, have you ever seen Dazed and Confused?
Yeah. I didn't know there was a technical name for that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's called the shimmel. Yeah, and interesting enough, I think you guys should bring it back. I really do.
I think so too.
Bike coaching shorts and the shimmel look. It's a classic. It's not going anywhere. But I'm loving the no draw cords. I'm loving it for multiple reasons. Number one, from the point of view of making virtual samples to do sales proposals. Not having to muck around with that for photography is great. But also, my cats will have nothing to do now without draw cords. I don't have to worry about my cats extracting all my draw cords from my hoodies. But I think it's just a really nice, fresh look.
It really
is. I love the heavyweight tees. I love that oversized tee with the rib knit collars, that heavyweight. I'm a big fan of garment dye anyways, but I think it's a really solid look. And that, again, that goes back to the 80s and 90s. That was a very dominant look that you saw during that era with companies like MV Sports still around, was producing that heavy jersey. Champion, who's made this huge resurgence. So it's wonderful seeing that. And the pop colors are fun. Tired of the same palette all of the time and just trying to incorporate some new colors. What I did when Christina and the team got over the products we were going to focus today, I said, hey, listen, I'm going to go in, I'm going to create some Inksoft stores that are based on those S&S products and those new SKUs. Because with our partnership with S&S, their entire product line, new products as they come online, are fed into our product feed. So they just show up in Inksoft, and I can go in and select an S&S product and add it to a store quite easily. And so I created 2 stores just for fun. I created this East Eagles Booster Club store, and then I created another store over here for Honor Health, which is, if you're from Arizona, you know who Honor Health is, but I didn't want to create their logo and all that. I just created a new logo, added the U, and just kind of created my own spin on it and created a corporate store. So here's what I want to talk about, because I know many of the folks that had registered for the TrendWatch, I noticed this by looking at the domain names on the emails, that many of you are promotional products distributors. And I want to get you guys thinking out of the box a little bit. And here's what I mean by that. I think it's quite easy to fall into the trap of what I call logos on stuff, where you're just simply taking the company's logo, putting it on a product, whether it's embroidery on a left chest or a hat or quarters it, and you're just replicating their logo. And I'm here to tell you, there's some very successful companies out there in the promotional products industry and also apparel decorators. They don't look at it that way. What they look at it is lifestyle branding. They know that there's always going to be that logo business out there. They also know that's very, very competitive. And, you know, if all you're doing is putting logos on stuff, anybody can do that. Customers can shop around. You get what we call buyer turnover, where there's a new buyer, maybe a younger person that's a little bit more savvy, and they go and do product research and they find, you know, it a quarter cheaper, the same product you're selling them. And let me tell you, once they get there mentally, there's no turning that around, because they've already convinced themselves that they're getting the same quality, the same service, even though they might not be, but it's cheaper. And I think one of the biggest hedges against that whole logos on stuff and that commoditization of our industry is lifestyle branding. And we have clients that are very successful doing this. So let me show you what we did. You can go in and you can create all those fun colors and all those pop colors for the products we're looking in. You don't have to be limited to just doing somebody's logo. You can create branding. Honor Health is an Arizona-based company. I had to have some testing done. I was in the hospital, and the nurse came out, and she had this really fun desert-themed T-shirt on, and it just said Honor Health in their copy, and then it had this nice little desert landscape on it. And I asked her, "Hey, where'd you get that?" And she goes, "Oh, we had it in our employee store." I said, "Did you actually buy that?" And she goes, "Yeah, I paid for this." And I was like, "Wow, you paid for that, so you must really like it." It says, "Yeah, but it's so much better than our boring purple shirts with the white letters." That's what you're seeing in corporate apparel. And you're always going to have that business, that logos on stuff business, whether it's for the uniform or the official channel or what you're required to wear to an event or a trade show. But there's a much bigger market opportunity out there. And I feel like I like to call it plus business. It's not taking away from your logo business. It's adding new categories, new products. And that's from taking products from S&S and some of these new lines, taking the drawstring free hoodies, some of the crops, taking into account some of the new heavyweight tees, these fun colors, and basically be able to build a graphic around them. Let's see, we'll switch to the other color, tying in the ink colors into the graphic, doing something that's a little bit outside the norm in terms of coloring. That's the trend. And we're seeing that. And if you don't believe me, we have very big companies that they build their entire business around this lifestyle branding. They take popular retail trends, whether it's patches or collegiate looks, and they spin that into corporate apparel, and they do phenomenally well. Now, bear in mind, the companies that are doing that are really operating more like, I think the best way to explain it, they're operating more like branding and merchandising companies, and they position themselves as that. So what is kind of some of the hindrances to this? It gets a little bit tricky, and here's where it gets tricky, because in order to do this, you have to have some kind of graphics capability. So you either have to have in-house artists, you have to be graphically accomplished yourself, or there's a third option, and that's where I'm going to take you out of this Inkshop store, and I'll show you how I got these graphics over here. What I did is I went into our sister company, which is Graphics Flow, which is the industry's largest depository of production-ready digital art for apparel decoration and promotional products. And so I have this massive library of art to choose from. And I was kind of lazy, I guess. I just went in here and said, hey, listen, what do we have for things that are desert themed? I could have gone to style too, but what do we have for things that are desert themed that would work within this context? So I isolated this design. I kind of like that. It's kind of got that Southwestern flair. And there's another trend that's going on. Mid-century and Southwestern are very closely related, especially in Southern California and Arizona. There's not really much of a dividing line, and these Southwest type looks and mid-century are kind of Palm Springs kind of looks are co-related, and it works really well. And I liked this one, so I found that patch, and I liked this one. And there was another one that I kind of scrolled down here. I was going to try this one, but I tried it and didn't really vibe with it. Oh yeah, this one. Because this one right here, what I wanted to do is set it up so that where it says group name, that you could put the department for Honor Health. And I think that's the real play here. When you're working with these lifestyle brandings, to be able to add that personalization. It's one thing if you're an Honor Health employee and they have thousands of employees here in Arizona to have just Honor Health, but it's another thing to have your department, pediatrics, to be able to have radiology. And what I did is on this graphic, I just went in here and I used what's called the stock art customizer. And so I don't have to utilize an external graphics program. I just did this right in the app. And I went in here and where it said group name, I just changed it to pediatrics. Hit enter. And then I didn't really need spring trip, so I turned that off. And then where it says cactus country, I just typed in Honor Health. That easy. And here's the wild part about this graphic. This is a production ready file. If you send this to your supplier, they can print, this is color separate. They can print film from this. If I wanted to reduce the colors in the design or swap out the clip art, I can do all of that. And we'll localize the colors a little bit. We'll play around with the colors. This has a weathered overlay on it, and I might not want to have to deal with that, or I might like it, or I might want to swap it. So I'm going to turn that overlay off. And let's play around with the colors. So I'm going to take this burgundy here, and I went and changed it over to a jade. I wanted to see what that looked like. It actually looks really good. So we'll apply that. And in kind of that same theme, I wanted to get out of this kind of these browns here. And I wanted to kind of tie in some of the tones from the green in here. And I can either go with a lighter or kind of a darker shade within that same range. We'll try lighter. Hey, that works. And I do kind of like the orange, but I'm not super crazy about the outline on the pediatrics. I think we could do something a little bit different. So I'm going to go specifically into that text box. And I could either turn that outline off, just get rid of it, or we could try a different color. I can use a color from the graphic itself. And we could try just doing white. That's always kind of the sellout position. Yeah, it actually works better. So sometimes just go back to your This is how I created the graphic. And then what I did is I saved it in the graphics field platform. It's cloud storage. So I created a category and I called that Honor Health. And I'm just saving this just kind of like you would in Google Drive. It's a little different because it creates the previews of the files. And I went in here and I called this Honor Health. We'll call this Circle. And I'll just say 01. And I'm going to save it into this folder. So I'm going to save it. And then from here, I've got a couple options. If I want to go to production, if I'm going to send this off to my supplier, I'm just going to send them a PDF file. This is 100% vector. The fonts are all embedded in the file, so I don't have to worry about font substitutions or converting text to curves. It's just ready to go. I have the ability to open this up in Illustrator, Photoshop, do advanced editing. If I'm not using Photoshop or Illustrator and I want to use like a freeware program like Inkscape, I can edit it in Inkscape or Affinity Designer. Bear in mind, if you're going to bring it into a consumer level program like Canva, you're going to have pretty limited editing capabilities. But if you have a pro level program or even a freeware program like Inkscape, you can edit this file. You can add, delete, recolor, move things around. If you're a CorelDRAW user, you could download the Corel version. But the reason I downloaded the PDF version, all right, listen up. This is cool. So I wanted to make this into a live template. So I'm going to make 2 versions of this. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to save this in my store files on my local computer. And I have my store files right here. And so I save that, but I'm going to go back to customizing this and I'm going to turn this section off. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up as a name drop so the customer can actually go in and make these changes. And that's exactly what I did here. And so I'm going to save a copy of it. So I can go over here and save a copy of it. I don't really need to do that. I've already done that, but I'm going to set this up as a name drop. So let me show you what I did with the store once I had this done. Is I went into the store and I took this design and I'm in Inksoft. Inksoft has an integrated design capability. I brought the design in just like this. I recolored it specifically for this product. And then what I did is I just typed in the text here that I wanted it to be, the word department. And I chose the same font because graphics flow fonts and Inksoft fonts match up. And I made this a live template. And then what I did is I saved the sharing link because I can send the sharing link out to my customer if I want them to have the ability to put their department in. So now the customer can come over here and do it themselves. And this works better if you have a print on demand capability like a direct garment printer, or you're doing, you have a white toner laser printer. But you could set up minimum order quantities for this. So when they go to check out, I have it right now. I have it set up so they can order 1, but I can have it say, hey, 12-piece minimum or 24-piece minimum, whatever my minimum is. And if they put in the quantities, they're going to get a price and there's price breaks built in and they can get a price. And now they can just hit buy now and check out. And if they don't check out, they've already saved the design. They put their email in. I've captured that data. I can market to them because we have the ability to get a abandoned cart report, and it'll email right directly from that report. So I've captured all that data. So where does this come into play in terms of the business model? If you're going after a business customer and they're kind of already used to this logos on stuff thing, if you can show them the ability where they can go in and do name drops with their merch, if you could show them that ability, if you pre-populate a store, because this store took me 20 minutes to set up, and I did a lot of work in this store. It only took me 20 minutes to set this up, including getting all the graphics and all of that. And you use this as your pitch. This is your pitch story. So you don't go in there with a sample. You don't email them a little mock-up. Everybody does that. You create a store for them, and you send the link to the store to them and say, hey, this is the kind of thing that we can do. You might not necessarily connect with the graphics, but we have a full service creative department. We can build the graphics around your preferences. But you build out a lifestyle branding and they see this, and then scroll down and you see the boring polo shirt that Christina and I were talking about ahead of time. What are they going to want?
Yeah, definitely.
And so we got ultra creative with this store. So check this out. Scroll down. Come down here. So here I labeled out pre-printed products. And I grouped everything by kind of product category. I think that's a good best practice. And all this photography, all of the product information for this Adidas product, which is coming from S&S, was populated into my Inksoft. So I didn't have to know what sizes were available. I didn't have to know what colors were available. I only picked 3 colors to offer on this. I didn't have to know, I know inventory numbers. I know costs in real time. I went in and added upcharges for the bigger, that's all coming into my supplier fee. So when people that use non-industry specific e-commerce platforms, they don't have access to that supplier feed, which is a huge big deal. And S&S even provides us with imprint locations. So we know if you guys have the Adidas logo on the left pocket, we know that it's going to be a right pocket imprint. That it's not going to be something that, which I think looks a little weird. I'd probably print on the back, maybe do a vertical back design, or probably do a sleeve design. But here's kind of a fun thing, new group ordering fundraiser. So I added the Inksoft designer into this store, and I said, hey, order merch for your team, group, or friends, and 20% of the proceeds will go to the Arizona Pediatric Foundation. Boom. They look on customize. They need shirts for their school group. They come in here. They go design now. They upload an image. They get a quote. Hey, we'll put the inked avocado in there. That'll be kind of fun. They upload an image. And I'm going to remove, well, no, actually, we can leave. We can take all the white out of it. I want to leave white because there's white in the graphic. And we've got that. They want to go and put in, whatever, I could put in Inktavo or put in whatever my event was. But they can get a quote and they can check out. And now percentage of those proceeds are going to the charity of my choice. And so, again, you can put in the pricing rules and say, hey, this is a 24-piece minimum order, 36-piece minimum order. There's an infinite amount of different pricing rules you can put in for different decoration processes. You can put in discount codes. You can give them a promo code. You could give every employee a promo code that says, hey, on your first purchase through the group ordering site, get 10% off. You can set up discount levels that anything over $500 is going to be discounted to, 5%. So people oftentimes think of these corporate stores as just a static logos on stuff store, but you can absolutely incorporate the lifestyle branding graphics into this. This is kind of a fun color, I think a couple really fun colors, and going with some lighter tones on the graphics and kind of that mid-century vibe on the Southwest design. This is what's possible with corporate stores. And I truly feel like people fall into this logos on stuff trap. And it's interesting to me, for somebody that's done quite a few trade shows in my day, when I talk to promotional products distributors at trade shows, I'll ask them a question and I'm looking for a specific answer because I can kind of benchmark where they're at. I said, what do you guys offer in terms of creative services? And if they say, my customers provide me with the artwork, then I know that they're not offering creative services. They're kind of in that logo stuff crowd. So for me, it presents a unique challenge because then I have to convince them of the benefits of offering creative services. If they say, hey, listen, we work with this great freelance person, or we have an in-house art department, I know they're on another level and they're already on that success track. And so I would certainly encourage everyone to kind of think outside of logos on stuff and think of yourself more as a branding and merchandising company, because the logo doesn't have to be their logo. You can create something really fun and inspiring. And Christine, I think we were talking about this before the class. Yes. Is you want to create the shirt that they'll wear on a Saturday.
On the weekends. Yep, exactly. That's what this is such an opportunity for that. And we were talking about things that we've had in our household for years and companies we worked for, that if they give you an opportunity, item that's either one, a very trendy piece, but also the design aesthetic of it. If it's something you want to wear and be representing, it's now creating that opportunity. And look at all the impressions. It's on the weekend. It's constant advertisement for those companies. So it really does give that extra level of opportunity for them.
I didn't realize when I was creating this, I created the logo with the color of the hospital scrubs. I guess that's kind of an accident.
It looks great, though. And you make it look so easy to do. So that's what I think, the ease of use of the platform makes it enticing for, others to want to join and do this as well.
Yeah, I also cheated when I create this store. So when I create a store, I'm creating a model store. And you notice all my orders are flowing into the Printavo software for all my production and getting it scheduled to equipment and such. But what I did is I took this Craig's Shirt Shack store and I cloned it because I already had the layout and all I had to do is swap out the logo. So I cloned this store And I can clone it with product and logos. And if I clone it with product and logos, what I can do is curate all the products that I frequently use in my corporate stores, and then just turn off the ones that I don't want to feature for that store. And then I can go in and turn off colors or add colors too. So
That's
it
great.
got me to the point where all I had to do is go into my settings and go to store branding and replace the logos. So I replaced the logos. And then what I did is I went into the style editor and I edited the colors. So I went over here and played around with the colors. And then what I did is I added a component. So I added this welcome to the Honor Health Employee Store component. So all I had to do in order to do that was we'll remove the component, is go over here and add a component. Every one of these components has intelligence built into it. And the platform will let me go in and add a component, and then I can very easily go in and edit that component. So I'm not going to change it because I really like the way this store looks, but we see a little edit button. This is where you can go in and change the colors. This is where I use what's called content blocks. So all I did is, remember that link when I was in this graphic, it had that link to that page. So what I did is I created a mock-up. I just screen captured a mock-up from that page, uploaded the PNG file. I highlighted this. And then once I highlight it, I can add a hypertext link that goes to that designer page. So I did that. And then I added some copy in here that's also hypertext linked. So I added that in. That's what created this. And then I added this content block. And this is actually a call to action. And I just put this little color bar in here. Then what I did is I went into manage products, and I have all these products built out. So if I wanted to take that and add that in there and reorder it, I can do that. But I'm actually going to add that back and get rid of that and hit done. And that's how hard it was to set this up. Then I added another content block, and then this one has a button that links to the designer. And then I went and grabbed some photos online from a freeware site that had royalty-free photos. And I went into CorelDRAW and just created a little banner real quick, saved it as a PNG file, popped it into here as a slide. That was fun. I could have put multiple slides in here, but I only put one slide. So all of this is stock that gets automatically populated. So it's just so easy to create a store in Inksoft. I've created stores in, probably every major platform. And I got to tell you, there's no easier way to create or just deploy a store than Inksoft. I'm not saying that because I'm an employee. I'm saying that because I know by experience.
with the other ones that you've tried.
Stores. Yeah.
For sure.
So same concept. You ready? You ready, Christina?
I'm ready.
Already. Okay. Same concept. Same clone store. I cloned the store, but then I just switched it out to a school store. And I don't know what school that is. I just found that image online, but I created a little banner logo in Graphics Flow and swapped that logo in. So again, where we go over here to store branding, I just swapped out the logos. I uploaded a bunch of art from Graphics Flow that I created. And I also have the ability to create colorways. So what I did on the graphics is I went in and created some different colorways. So this one right here is set up so that it's going to look okay on light substrates, but it's not going to work on navy because it's got that navy color in it. So what I did is I took that color, do that right in Inksoft, change that to gray.
Wow.
Isn't that cool? So I'm actually manipulating the colors in the vector graphic right in the platform. So I saved that as a colorway. And then if I want to add that to a product, what I would do is go to product. These are the products that I already built. So this is all the stuff that I built. And this store is loaded up with S&S products. So I loaded it up with blank products from S&S. And I just curated just the products I want from the store. So I don't have to look through the other 500,000 products that are in Inksoft. And so if I want to create a product with this hoodie, all I have to do is click on that hoodie and add the colors that I want to have available. So we'll make the sea blue, we'll do heather gray and white. So hit done. So those are the three products. I want to take one of these, I think it was this logo right here that I made the colorway. So that one works on white. We're going to make it a little bit bigger. If I wanted to edit the imprint location, I can make that into a pocket or whatever I want to do. So if this was going to be a pocket, I would just resize the box for a pocket, or just switch to pocket. I could do that too. And then the gray, it's working, but the blue is not working. So what I'm going to do with the blue is, remember I had those colorways in here. And so I'm going to select the blue and then just select that colorway. So now we got the color. I like that blue. That's cool. And we're ready to roll. So we've got my 3 products with the art. Hoodies. I like doing graphics smaller on the hoodies. I like doing a little bit smaller. You have the pouch there. We could make it a little bit bigger, stretch it out a little bit. But I have a tendency to kind of vibe with the little bit smaller graphics. I think that's pretty ideal. And that'll be handled on the production side. So this is visual. The person that's actually doing production, you're going to have to give them the specs like, hey, this needs to be 10.5 wide. We'll go create product. And then American Apparel is a brand name. So I can put that in there. I can tell it, hey, I want the sea blue to be the first color you see. I can alter the SKU if I wanted to put the SKU maybe East Eagles as part of the SKU, so I can pull a report on that. And then price, I'm going to set this at $50, but then I'm going to override the price for the 2X at 55 and 60 for the 3X. And then I'm just going to say finish. And so now I've got a new product. And so if I want to maybe swap one of these out or maybe add it as a featured product, we'll add it as a featured product. So I'm going to say plus, new product, manage products, add it, done. So that's featured product. And then I'm just going to drag that up in the object order. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Done. So here's my featured product. Here's my other products. At this point, I like it. So we're going to save it. And at this point, the store is deployed. Now, here's the thing. People don't realize. I learned this from a customer, and listen closely to this one, because this is some of the better advice that I got from a client recently. And I was at a trade show in Fort Worth at a client. They were an Inksoft user. They had signed up a couple months before, and he'd signed up for a standard plan, which is up to 100 stores. Because in his way of thinking, he was like, I'm never going to need more than 100 stores. So he came up to me at the show, and he's like, hey, I've used up my 100 stores. And I'm like, how long you been with us? He goes, a couple months. I go, how'd you use up 100 stores in 2 months? He goes, I do a store for every one of my customers, whether they buy online or not, because I process all my orders through Inksoft, through the Inksoft proposals and invoicing tool. And I realized that when I do that, everything ends up in their account. So they can log into their account and they can see any orders that are going on within their account, and they can place reorders. If there's orders in here, they can click on the order and say, hey, view order details, print receipt. They can see that the order is being processed. It's not been completed yet. So they can go over here and initiate a reorder if they want to. They can go in and see any artwork that they've been playing around with. So here's like some of these designs that they've been playing around with. And if they want to go and edit this design, they can do that. Any art that's been uploaded to their account, they can see that. They can't grab it, but they can at least see it. And so they self-service. And he said, it was really telling to me, he said, listen, I don't have time to be chasing down all this information for customers. I said, they're always calling me. They're always emailing me. What I realized that if I set up an account for them and I give them access level control to the account, what I can do is create a scenario where they can self-service and I don't have to talk to them. And I was like, man, that's what everybody wants to do. Everybody wants to have their self-service and never have to talk to them. In a perfect world, that's I think there's still a level of touch that you have to apply in terms of building relationships. But that's based on consumer purchasing habits. And some people, like I can tell you, my 30-year-old daughter, she'll want to talk to you. She just wants to go into her account, reorder, be done with it. HR manager, they don't want to talk to you. They just want to reorder. They want to see their past orders, find the one that they ordered last time, place a reorder. The way we have it set up in this account is they can't automatically place the reorder because we're going to check the order to make sure there hasn't been a price increase. So we've set this account up so we have to approve it before it gets processed. And we can do that based on all orders or a dollar amount threshold. Once these orders get placed, what's going on in Inksoft, they're going into their order manager. So here's all the orders. I'm sure I've placed one recently. This order was placed right here, so I can take a gander at the order, see what's going on. I can initiate my purchase order if I want. But in this case, you guys are some of the first people to see this. What we're actually doing is we're passing this order from Inksoft, our e-commerce platform, which also has production capability, but we're passing it over to Printavo for production, where I'll convert it into Printavo job and then schedule it to equipment, because Printavo has a much more robust job management capability. But I could also run this job through production in Inksoft as well. Here I go to purchasing, collate the orders, create a purchase order for S&S, create that. Tells me it's unpaid because all these orders I've been placing through the store, I said I've checked the pay later option, so I didn't have to put a credit card in. And then I could take this order and select multiple orders and get them scheduled for production. But I wouldn't put this into my Printavo account because Printavo has very, very robust job management. And so we have like the power scheduler where we can take these jobs and allocate them to equipment by number of minutes used, split the equipment and the jobs into multiple days and multiple batches, see how much production time I have available for my automatic or my manual. So people that are doing a lot of production really appreciate the advanced functionality of Printavo and use the robust functionality of Inksoft for your e-commerce and the robust functionality of Printavo for your job, shop management, and scheduling. Pretty cool. So TrendWatch, you saw it here first. Nobody else has seen it. We're debuting it. So we're in beta right now of this new capability of integration between the two platforms. And we'll be going to what we call GA, general availability, hopefully at the end of March. But I love the idea of using the store as the sales presentation. I just think it's really fresh. I think it's a way that's very engaging. I think it's a way that you establish that hey, I'm just not another company, that we're full service, that we can manage this whole part of your business. Now, there is another way to do this. And the other way you would do it is you would go in and you would do what's called a proposal. And I would just go in here and say, okay, I'm going to create a new proposal. That proposal is going to be tied to the store. So I could create a proposal. And this proposal is assigned to Craig Shortcheck right now. And I put my dates in here. So we could go that route. And we can add a product. So here's some products. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to build something. So let's build out a quick little hoodie here. And I could upload art. We'll put the inked avocado on there. Okay. And then what I would do is I'd price that, make that a little bit bigger, put it right there, create the mock-up. So I don't have to create the mock-up independently because Inksoft's going to do that. And I'm going to put my prices in here. And I can have it automatically calculate pricing for me based on pricing rules, or I can go and override that. So we'll do it as a screen print, and it's going to be a 4-color. And I'll add it to my proposal, and I think I'm going to do a price override on this. So I'm going to go down here, override the price. This is wholesale pricing. I'm going to put something a little bit more retail-oriented in here. So we'll go and make this 25. Heat that up a little bit. So it's calculating the pricing based on my pricing rules, which are play cost, markup percentage, plus input price. So we'll update that pricing. And then I'll just save this proposal. Probably want to name it. We'll call it Inkavocado concept. So we'll save it. This is how I'm going to ping it to my customer. I'm just going to send them the proposal. And I can be boring. I can send it out as an invoice or a quote, which is kind of boring. But I'm going to send it out as an actual proposal. So the branding is going to be tied to the store. All the store's information and their logo is going to be in there. So that's kind of the offline way of doing it versus the interactive way of doing it with a store where you're letting them self-service. So it's just another way of doing business. So main thing I wanted to kind of point out is don't be logos on stuff. Engage your customers in a creative process. Do lifestyle branding graphics for them. Use a pitch store as a way to introduce products to the client versus, you can still do these static proposals. If you have a customer that has an account and they can go into their account and self-service and reorder, see their graphics, see order history, especially if you're doing school orders where there's like a fundraising aspect, which is what I did with the other store that I created. I set up a fundraiser in there. It's just, I think, a smarter, better way of doing business. And I know I threw a lot of information at your way, but this is how I would do it. We had a rather substantial collegiate sportswear company back in the 80s and 90s, and, we kind of rolled up our sleeves and old schooled it. You have to do that anymore. You can leverage all this great technology to expand your reach without necessarily having to staff up. And I love that. Sell more, make more money, not having to add additional staff. That's it. So Christina, anything else you'd like to add?
I love this. I think this is a great way to showcase how, if you're working with S&S and with Inktavo, and different ways to elevate your business, from the products that you're adding in to the design and way to go to business with your customer. I'm mind blown. I mean, it's a great concept, and I think so many customers can really benefit from incorporating this strategy into their business and their business plan.
It's a treat being able to access the entire product line from S&S to create these fun little stores, because you guys are always keeping us, on trend with the latest fashion trends, colors, garment cuts. Yeah, I don't have the time to go out and research that myself anymore. And so having a partner and a company that's keeping us and to your end users up to speed on what's happening in the industry. Thank you again for joining me, Christina, and we will see all of you on the next TrendWatch.